Tonight, meeting face to face.
We've seen great progress over the last just couple of days.
The U.S. and Iran hold historic talks as Tehran flexes its control over the Strait of Hormuz and Israel attacks, while President Trump faces backlash from Americans.
If we give billions of dollars to Iran, that money will be used to murder Americans.
I'm Torian Small at the White House, why President Trump is finding the path to peace complicated.
Also tonight, big problems at the reflecting pool, peeling paint, growing algae, why a former Olympian is now accused of destroying government property. Wildfires rage across the West, and Utah flames force hundreds of evacuations as severe weather moves east.
I'm meteorologist Tammy Souza in Philadelphia. 100 million people in 25 states are in danger as storms thunder from Kentucky to New York and the plains get hit again.
Travel rush. Americans this weekend flying in big numbers, but one flight getting a little rough.
He just bit a passenger and he's trying to fight everybody, so.
All that, plus welcome to the USA. World Cup visitors taking it in and delighting us all.
I'm Lilia Luciano in New York. On the field, the U.S. is winning. Off it, tourists are marveling at our culture, from exotic food offerings to sprawling megastores and everything in between.
This is the CBS Weekend News from New York with Jerika Duncan.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Sunday. Tonight, President Trump is threatening further attacks on Iran, even as Vice President J.D. Vance in Switzerland hails progress at talks aimed at securing peace. But on the first day of those negotiations, new strains and new accusations, despite efforts to turn a 60-day ceasefire into a definite deal. The president returned to Washington tonight after spending the weekend at Camp David in Maryland. A new CBS poll out today shows 69% of Americans say the conflict with Iran was not worth the cost, and more than half, 57%, say the president's war with Iran created more problems than it solved. CBS's Torian Small is at the White House tonight and leads us off. Torian.
Good evening, Jerika. That poll also found a majority disapprove of the president's handling of this conflict.
Congratulations. Vice President J.D. Vance in Switzerland saying talks with Iran are moving forward.
The opening of the Strait of Hormuz, the ending of the Iranian nuclear program, all of these things have already been accomplished.
Tehran saying not so fast, closing the Strait of Hormuz this weekend as fighting between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon goes on. President Trump frustrated. Speaking to Fox News Sunday by phone, he used expletives to warn Iranian officials they, quote, won't even make it back to your effing country if they close the strait, vowing to, quote, bomb the S out of them. Trump ally Senator Lindsey Graham on CBS's Face the Nation insisting the threat is real.
If this deal fails, President Trump is going to take the Strait of Hormuz over by force. And if Iran contests control of the Strait of Hormuz by the United States, will obliterate them.
Trump's words reportedly pausing peace talks, sending Pakistani negotiators scrambling to salvage the meeting. In Washington, Democrats unimpressed.
This president has led this nation into a disaster. We have surrendered our power, we have capitulated to the enemy, and they now are mocking us.
Tonight, a new CBS poll finds most Americans say the U.S. did not get the better of this deal, and a majority believe Iran will keep threatening its neighbors anyway.
U.S. officials tell CBS News the talks are continuing despite earlier tensions. A main focus of today's negotiations, deconfliction and enforcement of the ceasefire in Lebanon. Jerika.
And Torian, we know that a lot of Americans have been concerned about these oil prices since the start of the war. What do we know about what Americans are feeling now?
Well, our poll found many Americans expect gas prices to keep coming down. It's at about $3.93 nationwide. That's up almost $1 since the start of this war. It had been dropping before this latest threat to close the strait. We know global markets don't like uncertainty. That appears to be what we still have, Jerika.
All right, Torian Small reporting from the White House. Thank you. President Trump says today he inspected the problem-plagued reflecting pool on the National Mall wall. He says the pool will be fixed and is accusing vandals of sabotaging the $14 million renovation. So far, 5 people have been arrested, among them a 3-time Olympian and cyclist David Hearn, who was taken into custody after touching the pool's detached liner. Tonight in the West, the problem is raging wildfires. At least 70 major fires are burning in several states, fueled by extreme heat and gusty winds. CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti is in Los Angeles with the latest on the flames and evacuations. Jonathan.
And Jerika, good evening to you. Just as the summer begins, the West is staring down a dry and hot week ahead, and with it comes the increased threat of heat-related injuries and wildfire danger.
Dry fuels and gusty winds are fanning dangerous flames in Nevada tonight. 2 out-of-control fires are burning south of Caliente, where rugged terrain is complicating firefighting efforts. The blazes there have consumed over 20,000 acres. And overnight in Utah, a fire scorched the hillside near the University of Utah, triggering a shelter-in-place order. Firefighters extinguishing the flames with aerial water drops. In central Utah, firefighters are taking advantage of calmer winds. The wind-driven iron fire is threatening homes and ranches in the evacuated town of Eureka.
At this time, 0% contained means we are not confident in the line being super secure.
And along the busy Florida Turnpike, a massive brush fire briefly shut down the highway. Heat-related injuries are also a concern. This weekend, authorities confirmed 3 elderly hikers died while traversing the Grand Canyon's inner trails as temperatures spiked above 100 degrees. As millions of Americans set out for summer vacation, authorities are urging caution as temperatures are set to surge into triple digits in many parts of the country.
And here in Los Angeles, temperatures are expected to peak midweek. Authorities say if you're going outside to hike or just being in the heat in general, bring plenty of water, find shade, and take breaks. It's the best way, they say, to stay safe, Jerika.
Simple tips that work. Jonathan Vigliotti, thank you. To Wyoming now, one of the several states on alert for severe weather tonight. This landspout swirled today near the town of Big Piney. Unlike a tornado, it forms from the ground up. Meteorologist Tammy Souza is at our CBS Philadelphia station and is tracking it all. Tammy.
Good evening, Jerika. Those same storms are now moving across the Midwest and the Ohio Valley, bringing severe weather tonight. But it is tomorrow we'll be watching them as they head to the East Coast and fire up again in the plains. These 2 yellow boxes, that is a slight risk, better known as a level 2 out of 5 for severe weather. The one on the East Coast, that has actually increased, and it now has the potential of tornadoes between New York and D.C. Let's start there. Let's take a look at what's going to go on. At about 7 in the morning, the storms are still well to the west of that yellow box, well to the west of I-95, but they come in during the afternoon and evening, and some of these storms will have large hail, damaging winds, intense lightning, and yes, even isolated tornadoes. Across the plains, we are looking at the potential of a line of storms dropping down through Dallas, but also individual supercells coming out of the central plains, which could mean more tornadoes there. And finally, we do have a flash flood risk. Look at this, 100 million people in 25 states from the Northeast all the way down to Dallas, looking at 2 to 4 inches of rain. Jerika?
A lot of people there. Tammy Souza, thank you. Tonight, there is a state of emergency in Los Angeles County as firefighters there struggle to contain a stubborn warehouse fire. It has sent smoke into air for days. Now it is a biohazard concern because there are 85 million tons of frozen food inside the building.
Well, I would anticipate this smoke for about 2 more days, possibly 3. But now we're going to extinguish the fire, and we're going to do that aggressively.
The warehouse there is massive, some 500,000 square feet in size. It has been a busy weekend at American airports. The TSA expects to screen about 3 million people from Thursday to Sunday. That's a number that rivals Thanksgiving levels, but it wasn't all easy going. Today, the crew of an American Airlines flight from Charlotte to Philadelphia reported having to deal with a disruptive passenger biting other flyers.
At 6,000 American 3046, and can you pass along? We need EMTs as well as law enforcement. I don't know if he's hallucinating, but he just bit a passenger and he's trying to fight everybody. So.
Well, the airline said the person was experiencing a medical emergency. To the World Cup now, there were 4 games today, including Iran versus Belgium in Los Angeles. No real winner. There was a draw, 0-0 off the field. Visiting fans are indulging in American culture, some for the very first time. Our CBS's Lilia Luciano is in New York City with all of the fun, all of the action. Lilia.
That is right, Jerika. You know, I enjoyed the Knicks championship, but now World Cup, this is my jam. You can imagine how exciting it is to see people coming in here. And this is a viewing party to witness the biggest World Cup ever. We're talking 48 teams, 104 venues across 3 countries. And for the U.S., already the best performance since the first World Cup in 1930, already securing a spot in the knockout round.
For many international fans, it's their first all-American experience, like the Southern staple Waffle House.
I think American food is very tasty, but it has a lot of calories, man.
And the king of condiments, not ketchup, ranch. Tourists are so hooked, they're trying to take it home. So much that the TSA had to issue a reminder that ranch is a liquid and you have to put it in checked bags. Aside from dipping, the tourists are adapting to a very American custom, tipping, something that's voluntary in much of the world. Abroad, restaurants pay their servers their wages. Here, restaurants usually pay servers a minimum hourly rate. In 18 states, that rate is $2.13. Tips make up the rest. Since tourists aren't used to tipping, many restaurants are adding automatic gratuities of up to 20%.
So how much are you tipping now?
Now I pay 10 or 15.
The Japanese have set the gold standard for being good guests. Fans routinely clean the stands after matches, setting an example for the rest of the world.
And whether or not you're tipping high or low, one thing everybody agrees on is how expensive the resale tickets for this World Cup are. That next knockout match game where the U.S. Is playing, the tickets individually are going for more than $3,000, and that's not even the most expensive. I've heard Colombia, Portugal, and Miami going for upwards of $10,000 for one ticket for one match. Jerika.
This is where you got to be someone's plus one. Lilia Luciano, thank you so much. Now to a surprise return to Wimbledon. 23-time Grand Slam singles champion Serena Williams said today that she will play singles after receiving a wild card entry. The 44-year-old last played on the famous grass court back in 2022. Very exciting. Straight ahead, marking the longest day of the year. But first, this story.
I'm Ramy Inocencio in Kampala, Uganda. Just over the border, Ebola is exploding. Now nearly 1,000 cases in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Next on the CBS Weekend News.
Tonight, new fears about the spread of Ebola. It's accelerating in the Democratic Republic of the Congo with no approved medicine or vaccine for the deadly virus. CBS's Ramy Inocencio is in neighboring Kampala, Uganda, with the very latest. Ramy.
Jerika, good evening. Yes, the number of confirmed Ebola cases is now nearing the 1,000 mark. And ever since June 5th, all of those have been coming from the Democratic Republic of Congo on Uganda's western border.
Health workers prepped tiny coffins for children still contagious with Ebola. Adults sealed in body bags, all carried off for burial. The world's newest outbreak spreading faster than all 17 before in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The U.S. CDC's chief here, Dr. Delayo Zomohun.
We still don't have the full picture. We need more resources, and we need to go fast.
But last year, the Trump administration gutted U.S. aid, tens of billions of dollars in funding worldwide. Every doctor, aid worker, and official told us that's meant a delayed response to this outbreak and shortfalls in medicine, fuel, and staff.
57 children under 5 years old.
And they showed us. This is the New York-based International Rescue Committee's Ebola operations in Uganda, right along the DRC border.
Going on right now.
Elijah Okeo is its Uganda director.
We had a number of staff who are working in service delivery. Now we only have about 300 staff.
a cut of 1,000 people.
And it's not just people. It's funding to run a refugee camp, like the sprawling Chiriandongo settlement with nearly 170,000 people.
Nice to meet you.
Vincent Amaruma oversees it.
How much was cut in terms of a percentage? Was it 20% cut? Was it a 50% cut?
Around 70.
How has that hurt you?
There were no enough drugs. For example,
if you get exposed, down the road, Ebola educator Simon Opido with Uganda's health ministry says 1 in 5 refugees here don't even believe it's of this world.
People are being bewitched.
How do you combat that?
With facts about the disease.
Africa's CDC says this Ebola crisis is on track to be the worst in history.
And that's because tens of thousands of people over in the DRC who have come into contact with positive cases have not yet been traced. And Jerika, 1 out of every 4 people who have contracted this Bundibugyo strain of Ebola have died.
Ramy Inocencio, thank you so much. Still ahead on the CBS Weekend News, a fireworks stand lights up before the 4th of July. We'll explain what happened next. This weekend, an early fireworks show in the suburb of Tulsa, Oklahoma. The pyrotechnics happened in the city of Broken Arrow at this fireworks stand. It sent bursts into the sky above the flames. How it started is under investigation. A person nearby said she heard an explosion that kept getting louder and louder. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Today is the summer solstice, the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. In England, about 20,000 people celebrated by watching the sunrise at Stonehenge. The ancient monument, of course, is famous for its precise alignment with the sun's movements. This weekend in theaters, traditional toys clashed with technology.
Bonnie, there's a package for you. Oh, thank you, thank you. Hi there, I'm Lilypad. Let's play.
Oh, extinction, not again.
Yes, again. Toy Story 5, that's right, 5 had the biggest box office debut this year and shattered opening day records for the franchise. The film brought in $160 million across North America. Disclosure Day and Obsession round out the top 3. Next on the CBS Weekend News, keeping families connected to their fathers. But first, a look back at this day in history.
The United States Supreme Court ruled today that burning the flag of the United States is a lawful constitutional act of political protest.
The NBA is bankrolling a new hoop league for women that hopes to put men in the stands.
Finally, on this Father's Day, a story of connection. Nationwide, some 2 million people are incarcerated, many of them parents. In tonight's Weekend Journal, CBS's Bradley Blackburn shows us a one-of-a-kind partnership reuniting fathers with their children.
On Rikers Island in New York City, we met men locked up in one of the most notorious jails in the country. Marquise Powell sentenced to 6 months for misdemeanor assault. Daniel Rodriguez more than 3 years for felony weapons possession. They're all doing time, and they're all fathers who know their kids are paying a price.
I love being a father. It's hard to be a father from here.
You can't hug, you can't kiss, you can't feed, a lot of things. It's hard.
But on this day, they're shackled for a rare trip outside jail walls to the Children's Museum of Manhattan, where their kids are waiting. Before they see them, cuffs are removed, arms ready to embrace.
Hi. You look so pretty.
The museum is closed to the public, guards close by, but these dads and kids are together.
We've been missing him? Yeah.
Hard time is hard for families. The museum created this program for children who've done nothing wrong.
The children whose parents are incarcerated often feel very isolated, and so a program like this gives them an opportunity to connect with their parent in a way that's very normal.
The Department of Corrections signed on because data shows family contact in jail improves behavior and reduces repeat offenses.
People might see this story and say, jail is supposed to be about punishment.
The Department of Correction is about correction, and it's about correcting. We're here to support people, to provide them with sort of a pathway for reintegration and success.
Ian will be 10 when his dad is released.
The difference about this is that we can't touch him, we can't run around and play.
It's like if I'm free again. For real, that's what I feel. Like if I'm free.
After 2 hours, it's time to say goodbye.
Love you.
There's pain and promise of a better future for men who've made mistakes, fathers who love their children. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And that is the CBS Weekend News for this Sunday. I'm Jerika Duncan in New York. We thank you for watching. Happy Father's Day. Good night.